Cześć, witajcie moi kochani, witam bardzo, ale to bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym epizodzie Zagrajmy w Disco Elysium. Jest jedna rzecz ważniejsza. Ja bym chciał sprawdzić, czy już mając broń,
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect. Hope this is your gun. It's more of a symbol than anything.
Nice. Dobra. Mamy saveik i lecimy dalej. Jezu, wygląda jakby się z wojska urwał. Czas w końcu sprawdzić to.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, 𝗱𝗶𝗹𝗵𝘁 R&D. Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb.
Co ja w ogóle próbowałem tu zrobić?
Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there in the dusk hour, with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas?
Może?
A prayer of sorts to Revachol.
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you.
Pójdź wzdłuż wybrzeża, po starej promenadzie, wśród trzcin.
An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
Dokąd leci?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
She's down there.
Myślę, że jest tam, na dole, pod tym budynkiem.
Okay. Why?
Szukaliśmy już wszędzie, tylko nie tam.
Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Obok jest drabina. Może moglibyśmy się po niej wspiąć. Wejść na dach.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
Dobrze. Zapiszę grę. Idźmy tam.
A rusty ladder leads to
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Oceń sytuację.
the distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. What if you were to do something more subtle? What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder? Astral projection.
Teleportation is not a thing.
Even if it isn't, no one told you.
That's not how physics work, detective.
Nie zaszkodzi spróbować.
Wouldn't you? Oh yes, it could hurt a lot.
Dobra, zrobię kolejny save. Tak w razie kurwa W. Bo właśnie będę robił teleportację.
On second,
Dawaj, zapal. Próbuję odpalić. Jakby co? Jakby kto nie wiedział. Dawaj, dawaj, teraz.
eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Okay, well, that's impressive, but
Bad.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
Nie chełp się. Po prostu tam stój. 𝗬𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗍 mistrz.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faint.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside.
don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Kolejny saveik, tak w razie W. Nie, najpierw wpuszczamy. A tam mi się wydaje, że... Nie mogę tam pójść? Chyba nie mogę. Dobra, wczytajmy. Może przez to okno się przebije. No jak to tam go wpuścić? Jak go wpuścić tam? No chyba tu nie ma żadnej opcji. No dobra, no ale wybierzmy inną tutaj latarkę na przykład.
2 rusty metal plates.
Nie! Udało się go wpuścić.
The doors.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that. After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before.
He's quite proud of himself.
At least now we have an exit, so let's get going. It's time to investigate these passages.
Dobrze. Nowy zapis. Co ja tam mam? Przekonywanie +1. Empatia -1, a próg bólu i siła woli +1.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
half a century. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. We have found
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some... You mean like Ruby? No.
Years worth of dust is
Wydaje mi się, że coś ma to wspólnego. Ten Mazow i tam coś jest. Jakieś połączenie. Co to jest? Uszatek. Ja pierdolę, uszatkę znalazłem. Beka.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No. What do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. Possibly. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinaise. The deadlock between the... Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly...
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, they will...
Dobra, idziemy. Pieniądze, że zdobywamy. Wygryw.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. No, buddy, that's not going to happen. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the 𝗬𝗨 frequency.
Wow, check out the big brains on you. You're not entirely wrong. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
Sounds like she knew someone who used to man one of those stations. But she won't tell you about her. Boy, you're one empathetic police officer to have guessed even that right now.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while, but no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get...
I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops, and of herself.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Damn this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
Zniszcz maszynę. Skąd wiedziałeś, że się zbliżamy?
Heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
Krywając nawoje pod podłogą?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
Nie sypnęła cię, nawiasem mówiąc.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my...
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hard.
I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Zastrzeliłeś Liliego?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching. Though I doubt that makes much of... Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
Ja zagroziłem Klasję, że ją aresztuje, pękła.
Oh. Well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Twoje pierwsze podejrzenie nie było tak zupełnie nietrafne.
Titus and his boys, man. They told us you were on the coast.
Well, fuck. Those guys liked me, I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like,
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
how the fuck do the rest of you get by? I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them a little.
Radzę sobie, zadając pytania i mam ich kilka do ciebie.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the
Powiedziałeś, że Liliego dało się lubić.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
Walci najemników to ciężka praca.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they
Nie
do.
było nic bardziej osobistego, co miałaś przeciwko niemu. Może jego powodzeniu kobiet.
You think I was envious of his conquests?
Chciałaś uchronić związek?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like 𝗷𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗃𝗃 sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate him, okay?
Mam inne pytania.
I'm listening.
Masz jakieś alibi na czas, kiedy zastrzelam Liliego?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you.
Powiedzieli, że poszłaś się odlać bardzo długo, 15 minut.
Yeah, and I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time.
Nasze śledztwo wykazało 15 minut akurat wystarczy na popełnienie morderstwa.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain.
Jest tajne przejście z parteru Whirling na dach.
Don't know it. But also, the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
No dokładnie. To jest racja. Masz broń.
And
Skąd ją
the
masz?
gun store.
Z jakiego sklepu z bronią?
Happy Jacks.
Serio? Serio? Lekki?
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun
Od
supply?
przodówka? Masz gdzieś jakąś inną broń?
Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
Nie umiem rozpoznać. Co to za rodzaj broni?
Knocked-away 80 front loader. Two-barreled. Not really what you were looking for.
That isn't it.
Kolekcjonujesz broń?
No, they're not practical. Break.
Są inne dowody, o które chciałbym cię zapytać.
Yeah. Evidence.
Bardzo lubiłaś Klasję.
I considered her a good friend, yeah.
Jest kobieciarą,
What the hell, man?
ale chciałeś, żebyście były czymś więcej niż przyjaciółkami.
Oh, so that's where you were going with this.
Mówiła, że chciałaś uciec razem z nią.
That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts we didn't want to catch up with us, and we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip?
The lieutenant watches her expectantly.
Okay, fine. I was into her. 𝗀𝗏𝗃 was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it.
Klausy only said they may.
Mówiła, że się tylko całowałyście.
Someone is lying here.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not about to go into details for you to jerk off to later.
Seriously, just move on.
Co się stało potem?
She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leading me on.
Okej.
I knew that wasn't the whole story, but thought, fine, I'll take it and move on.
No ill will there. It wasn't a problem.
Kaś powiedziała, że bardzo się rozwościłaś, jak zaczęła spotykać się z Lelim.
Yeah. One time when we'd both been drinking, I said some heated things about how dangerous her patterns with men were. I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're living in a DeLorean tragedy.
By the way, DeLorean tragedies are still held in high regard for innovation.
Mimo wszystko pomogłaś jej upozorować lynch.
Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. The merc was beyond caring what happened.
Są inne rzeczy, które chcę spytać.
Go ahead.
And mine too, he thinks.
Lubisz przesiadywać na dachach?
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean 𝗀𝗗𝗃𝗏's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna.
To jedyny powód, dla którego przesiadowałeś na dachu?
The view's pretty bomb too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah.
Co jest takiego super w antenie?
It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival.
Więc jesteś pewna, że nie zastrzeliłaś najemnika z dachu?
Yes, I'm sure. And
Dobrze,
anyway, as I
zróbmy
said
krok
before,
wstecz.
Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
Kto zabił najemnika, skoro nie ty?
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗏's room. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
Co się stało w niedzielną noc? Opowiedz mi swoją wersję wydarzeń.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Nie wydawało ci się naćpana?
Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
Zdaniem Klasy od razu rozumiałeś, że coś jest nie tak.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
Klasy mówiła, że kiedy tam dotarłaś, wydawałaś się mieć gotowy plan.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Jej pomysł?
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone.
What? Może nas w chuja zrobiła.
She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy boys.
Classy knew exactly what she was doing. You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise.
Wąż od prysznica? Zmyślnie.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Myślisz, że samo zabiła Lady'ego?
I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
Skoro go nie zabiłeś, to po co się ukrywać?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn la puta madre agent.
Jak to agent la puty madre?
Yes. You. Everyone says you're his peon. His human can opener.
You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm.
O,
Yeah. Screaming isn't happening on account of extreme short. All you feel is cop suffers.
kurwa, nie mam apteczek. Aj, może się nie uda przez to, że apteczek nie mam. Weźmy próg bólu, zwiększmy o 1 i weźmy coś z progiem bólu. To robi? Zmniejsza empatię. Wreszcie próg bólu. Muszę to wytrzymać. Muszę wytrzymać jeszcze jeden raz strzał więcej. No spróbujmy jeszcze. Ajajaj, masakra.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once.
I know you're feeling can't say it's a...
The voice doesn't wish to hurt you.
Zatkaj uszy. Niepowodzenie. Nie uda się. Kurwa. Może nie być takiego w ogóle... Może nie być takiego w ogóle scenariusza, w którym my przeżywamy.
Suddenly, your entire body is It's like 1,000 radio
No to jest...
Can't say it.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. Doesn't wish to.
Niepowodzenie. No i nie uda nam się, bo będziemy cały czas tracić tę drugą apteczkę. Kurde.
Suddenly, your entire body is. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head.
I know can't say it.
The voice doesn't wish to hurt you.
Niepowodzenie. Nie wiem, jak to zrobić. Wrócić się po apteczkę? Jeszcze jedną apteczkę dodatkowo? No zawsze mogę jeszcze wczytać, nie? To jakby nie jest problem. Od kogo moglibyśmy teraz apteczkę kupić? Poczekać na kolejną noc? Nie wiem, czy mój bohater jest w stanie to wytrzymać. U Roya coś? Czy Roy miał apteczkę? Pewnie nie. Pójdź z tym.
This medicine cabinet is stocked with drugs, plus an old
Anything of note?
pill bottle. Necra. This is used. The lieutenant glances at the rows of
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Nazwę pani boję, była pusta, licząc wody morskiej.
Oh,
Did you take the documents?
no, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents.
She doesn't seem to be lying. She's genuinely spooked by their disappearance.
Yes, I am. Regardless, it was probably just an accident. I
Czemu
was
mam
worried
poczucie, że pani tu wygrała?
I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
She smiles, a bitter little smile. She means it.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone? I mean, I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for, I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility.
Wydaje się być nie tak z hipotezą, którą pracowałem. Co do
I don't know
Ruby.
what to say.
Wszystko to wydaje się niezwykle korzystne dla pani.
None of this is fortuitous for me.
Użyło się to dla pani zaskakująco dobrze. Zdoła pani jakoś nie zostać podejrzaną.
Why do I still feel
The lieutenant looks away, over the railing. He feels uncomfortable with this conversation. He doesn't know what to add.
Czemu jest pani w zamknięciu?
For my sins, of course. For destroying my first love.
She nods, slowly. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Okay.
She nods, silently.
Yes, miss. I hope you don't mind. All right.
Coolly, gracefully.
Chyba nas zrobiła. Możliwe, że nas zrobiła w chuja. Jest na to szansa. Dobra, idźmy spać. Zobaczmy. Zobaczymy, czy rano się obudzimy.
The room behind your closed eyelids is familiar now. The only home you've ever known.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and in.
How have things been going?
This bastard isn't even.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening.
Hear that? Iceman wants to sleep is much, much worse than.
We're trying.
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be.
Oh, but you will. In hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later. In front of the video rental. There is a warm breath on your face again.
Everything is so okay. Your eyelids flutter open for a moment.
The last thought in your head before waking.
O, jest poranek. Super.
A mirror hangs on the wall.
Nie, lepiej nie.
Yes?
Dobra, i teraz ja bym potrzebował dostęp do apteczki. W sklepie? Nie potrzebuję żadnego speedu ani nic. Ja potrzebuję po prostu produktów.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled
Amoniak.
with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays.
Okay, here. I hope. Okay, here. I hope 𝗱𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗄. Okay, here. I hope 𝗱𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗄 makes. Okay, here. I hope 𝗱𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗄 makes you feel better.
Dobra. Mam 6 tego. Coś tu jeszcze mam zanieść? Doprowadzić? Poszukaj Ruby, hardy świniarka. Ciało na promenadzie. Hardym porozmawiajmy o tej babce. Oni nie są źli ludzie, oni zadbają o nią.
The Copper NATO is back. What do you want?
Rubi.
Yeah. What?
Dzięki.
What's that, copper?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it?
Tak, ona.
God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this.
Hey, wasn't Everott's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah. I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, pig? You're fucking with me. Your gun.
Sure did, boss.
Well, at least I can see you got it back. If you have any question, Auntie LaPlante, we always called her.
Marianne, amigo. Fuck you, pig.
What? Easy, Al.
Don't disrespect Miss LaPlante. No.
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on this.
Nope. Next question.
Dobra, to jest kij z tym już.
The theme on that pinball machine, clinging to a picture book version of the past century. When it comes free with a six-pack. The sentiment is... Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and a metallic drawer. The pull-out toolbox slides...
This is Precinct 57. I'm afraid they're closed.
We should try...
Od 10:00.
In the cabin, you see...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
In the cabin, you see...
Dobra, walić to. Dobra, idziemy kończyć questa. Znajdujemy ją. Podejrzewam, że zjebaliśmy, jeżeli chodzi o niezamknięcie naszej pani. Nie ma żadnych dowodów na to, że ona tutaj jest. No to wygląda właśnie. Że to ona to upozorowała. Możliwe. No nic z tym teraz nie zrobimy. No jakby to już jest, jakby decyzja została przybita. Nawet jeżeli to jest prawda, to nie możemy nic z tym zrobić. Ale wydaje mi się, że ta ilość apteczek nam wystarczy. Okej, mam nadzieję, że to wystarczy, żeby się dowiedzieć, o co jej chodzi. Tego miejsca nie znaleźliśmy. Wydaje mi się, że mijałem je, ale nie pamiętam nic więcej. Ale 6 apteczek powinno wystarczyć. Morale dajmy na maksa. A może być szybki zapis.
Your entire body is it's like 1,000 radio stations are being...
I know you can't say it.
The voice coming through doesn't wish to hurt you. No, buddy. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Saw my equation. A pale lad signals are...
Sounds like she...
So,
Precisely. At the upper limit.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to.
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before you... Yeah, let's...
So she thinks of you as hunters.
I built it...
that's silly.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no. If you've got... Goddamn fine.
The gun she... Well, just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
Zniszcz maszyna.
The violent white noise becomes even more overwhelming closer to the compressor.
Officer, are you okay?
The pain.
What are you doing? Look, I know this isn't fair. Try now they're and you. Watch out for yourself. I'm guessing
If one,
A third.
as I said
the pain is becoming unbearable now.
I heard so you found
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been,
so
as opposed to the other.
I was.
That's her admitting the bullet.
No. Who ratted me out by but she couldn't have known I was
Titus and
well,
A down.
how the fuck did the rest of you get by? I didn't
That did make her forgive.
like what?
A strong moral compass.
I didn't like him. Plenty of broken people. You think I was envious of
She didn't hate him.
I'm listening. Man, you mean the length of a look.
She speak.
Wow. Now no. Why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. Not murder.
She looks you in the.
Cool. They said the fuck. Not particular. Why are
That's a pretty good question.
I'm not real. God,
So you know she's not, and
don't know it. The shot could.
she has...
that didn't go super well.
And the gun's trigger had. What did you think? Sure does.
The breach?
No.
This is such a one.
I'm not.
That isn't it.
Never really got into weapons trafficking. Yeah, evident. I consider. What the? Oh, that's a very.
The lieutenant.
Okay, fine.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 only said that.
If that's what.
Seriously, just move on.
Really?
Is that blood on the ground?
Yeah, she rejected. I knew that was.
No ill will there.
Yeah, I was a little.
By the way, DeLorean tragedies are still.
Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. Go ahead.
And mine too, he thinks.
Who doesn't? The view's pretty. It's very. Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, yeah?
More questions.
How should I?
Those.
Police ready?
Who hasn't? He was still warm. But the blue.
She.
It's okay.
All right. She sits down. Oh, yeah. Super. But I didn't think. No, She asked me.
You made it look like it.
What? Yeah. She.
Classy and you exactly.
Yeah. As I keep.
But
War?
She doesn't want.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did. I saw. Yes. You.
Through the fucking hell.
Kurwa, zużywam dużo więcej niż wtedy, ja pierdolę.
Like a vein exploded.
Everyone in.
If she knows that about you,
𝗱𝗵𝗲𝗃.
so she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the all of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared.
Nah. That I'm not planning to shoot you is the extent of the courtesy I can extend to la puta madre at present. You know what I did. I fucked him over. And now I have Harry can opener in my lair.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. Wait, one thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural?
Czy kiedy pojawiłem się w mieście, ktoś był ze mną?
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway?
Ja nie wiem, co się z nimi stało. Kto był w tym oddziale?
Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had two guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad
Co
either.
jeszcze możesz mi powiedzieć?
One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman, that sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Satellite Officer 𝗵𝗵𝗏 looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We could either take a room here in the whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗏. He can give us a ride.
Chyba ich znam. Są w Martinez.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. Unless you have anything pressing to ask me.
Wiesz o tym bunkrze tu obok?
What bunker?
Komunistycznej kryjówce tam wcześniej.
Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes,
Glad to have been of assistance.
the woman runs past you and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
All things considered, it could have gone worse.
Powinniśmy jej ścigać?
No, I don't think she did it. She's someone else's kid.
It's too late now, anyway.
Co teraz?
Now we have to come up with a really good excuse for why we walked right into a trap like that. Her tent. Maybe there's something in there.
The plane read it was pitched. The tent looked, it reeks of cigarette. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp.
See anything?
Rega Monthly. Journal of... You pocket the worn brown. A trusted friend left behind.
We should read this immediately.
O! Mioty leczące. Dobrze. To jest nasza nadzieja. Okej.
A thick journal. It's made of full-grain leather. Schneller is a stationery brand from 𝗀𝗸𝗶𝗹𝗵𝘁. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Przekartuj go.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Co za logistyka?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Czego dotyczą wykresy?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density.
Coś osobistego?
Short, wry observations of people and places, probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them.
Jak daleko wstecz sięgają wpisy?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
Napisała w dniu śmierci Leliego.
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense?
A jest coś o 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗃?
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗁 in your journal? You do see an M, though. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗁. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
Przeczytaj.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching, but also, I feel it in my gut, to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake.
To zbieg okoliczności. Nie zbrukałbym się za zabijaniem ludzi dla szefa gangu.
The thought steadies your nerves. The journal stops shaking in your hand.
12 marca.
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me Did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. That must have been one hell of a conversation.
Jaki jest najnowszy?
The most recent entry is from today. Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed?
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
Skoro tego nie zrobiła, to może to dobrze, że jej nie złapaliśmy.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than we does. Especially if she has problems with the madre.
Tak naprawdę... Im naprawdę jestem człowiekiem dla puty madre?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so. His trust is well placed. You aren't.
Więc kto twoim zdaniem zabił najemnika?
𝗂𝗃𝗃 was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or...
Brzmi to prawdopodobnie.
Either way, we need to keep an eye on her. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask.
Okej. Dobra, no to stąd wychodzimy. Musimy się dostać do pieprzonego bunkra w takim razie. Z tego nie będziemy mieć info z powrotem. Dobrze, ale to będzie wszystko w tym odcinku. Serdecznie dziękuję za oglądanie. Mam nadzieję, że wam się spodobało. Do usłyszenia. Siemanko, no i cześć. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie mojego materiału. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. Jeżeli wam się spodobało, pamiętajcie, żeby kliknąć kciuk w górę, zasubskrybować i kliknąć dzwoneczek. Wszystko, aby zawsze być na bieżąco. Jeżeli macie coś do napisania, napiszcie komentarz, dzięki temu będę wiedział, że jesteście, że wam się podoba i przede wszystkim, że chcecie, żeby tych materiałów pojawiało się więcej. Dodatkowo, jeżeli chcecie się wdzięczyć za to, co robię i podoba wam się moja praca, pamiętajcie, że możecie kliknąć w moją nazwę, wejdziecie do strony głównej mojego kanału, kliknąć opcję wesprzyj i za 2 zł, 10 albo 30 zostaniesz wspierającymi według waszej tutaj chęci i potrzeby oddania trochę tej dobroci w moją stronę. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie, trzymajcie się, do usłyszenia i życzę wam miłego. Bardzo serdecznie dziękuję wszelkim wspierającym za to, że jesteście. Dziękuję tym, którzy byliście wspierającymi i dziękuję wszystkim tym, którzy po tym właśnie filmiku zdecydowaliście się na wsparcie. Przede wszystkim to nie jest tak, że wspieracie osobę, która ma tysiące widzów. Wspieracie małą społeczność, której dzięki każdej osobie z was, każdej złotówce, którą mi przelejecie, każdym 2 złotym, które jesteście wspierającymi ptasiakami, za każdą tą jedną osobę bardzo serdecznie dziękuję i za każdą tą złotówkę dziękuję, ponieważ dzięki temu po prostu mam chęci, mam motywację i przede wszystkim mam dodatkowe finanse, które pozwalają utrzymać ten kanał i utrzymać wszystko, co się wokół niego dzieje, włącznie z kosztami prądu, kosztami kupowania nowego sprzętu, kupowania nowych gier i w ogóle całego czasu, które spędzam, czy to nagrywając, czy to streamując i czy to, jeżeli w przypadku wielu sytuacji rozmawiając i wspierając osoby, które w jakiś sposób czują się gorzej, więc moja działalność jest bardzo szeroka i cieszę się, że doceniacie ją. Jeżeli ktoś z was czuje się gorzej i chciałby ze mną porozmawiać i ma jakieś takie problemy, możecie do mnie napisać, zagadać, wszystko na Discordzie, a link do Discorda w opisie.